It's 10 p.m. You're sitting on your couch, staring at the glow of a screen, maybe having a drink or texting a friend. The sun went down hours ago, but your day isn't over. You're wide awake. Now, rip yourself out of that modern living room. Jump back 50,000 years. The sun drops below the horizon. There are no streetlights, no electricity, just pitch-black darkness and the small, flickering glow of a campfire. What happens next? We have this assumption that ancient humans basically lived like solar panels. Sun comes up, they hunt and gather. Sun goes down, they power off and go to sleep. We assume the night was just dead time because, without light, what else could they possibly do? But that assumption is completely backwards. Nighttime wasn't when ancient humans shut down. Nighttime is when ancient humans actually became human. To understand this, you have to look at what happens to the human brain when you put a fire in the dark. In 2014, an anthropologist named Polly Wiesner published a massive study on the Jew/Hoansi Bushmen in the Kalahari Desert. She tracked exactly what these hunter-gatherers talked about and when. During the day, 100% of their conversations were practical. They complained, talked about land rights, and discussed resources. Standard, stressful daytime survival. But the second the sun went down and they gathered around the fire, the data flipped. Over 80% of the conversation shifted away from practical complaints and turned into stories, singing, and deep social mapping. The firelight physically changed their psychology. It softened their faces, reduced the tension of the brutal day, and created a psychological safe space. But here's where the story gets strange. Because they weren't just sitting around the fire talking. They were venturing into the pitch black to do things that, logically, make no sense. Look at cave art. The oldest figurative art in the world dates back over 45,000 years. We have paintings of lions, rhinos, and horses drawn with a level of anatomical perfection that still shocks modern artists. But here's the catch. They didn't paint these at the entrance of the cave where there was sunlight. They painted them deep underground, sometimes hundreds of meters in, through narrow, terrifying passages. They literally carried animal fat lamps into total darkness just to create art. Nobody does that when the hunting is good and the sun is shining. You do that when you're stuck in the dark and your brain is starving to create something. And it goes even deeper. Because nighttime wasn't just for stories and art. It was for completely altering their reality. Think nightlife is a modern invention? Think again. About 13,000 years ago, a group called the Natufians were carving stone mortars directly into the bedrock of a cave in Israel, soaking wild barley and brewing beer. They hadn't even invented farming yet, but they were already figuring out how to get a buzz in a cave. And it wasn't just alcohol. High in the Pamir Mountains of Central Asia, archaeologists found 2,500-year-old wooden braziers inside tombs. Ancient people were taking highly potent cannabis, throwing it onto red-hot stones, and hotboxing the entire tent in the dark. This is where everything changes about how you view your own life. We look at grabbing a beer with a friend, going to a dimly lit concert, or staying up late to watch a movie as modern entertainment. But to your ancestors, this wasn't entertainment. It was social technology. During the day, your brain is in survival mode. You're working, paying bills, navigating traffic, dealing with your boss. You're gathering resources. But at night, your brain demands connection. When ancient humans brewed beer, smoked in tents, and painted by firelight, they were breaking down the boundaries of the individual ego. They were building trust. They were creating the cultural glue that kept the tribe from falling apart when the sun came up. You're not a creature built just to work in the daylight. You are the descendant of people who conquered the night. Tonight, you're going to turn off the overhead lights. You're going to look at the glowing screen of your TV or your phone, your modern fire. You'll laugh, you'll text a friend, you'll listen to a story. And when you do, remember that you are running ancient code. You aren't wasting time. You are doing exactly what your ancestors did 50,000 years ago to keep the darkness at bay. So the next time you find yourself awake at midnight, craving a story, a drink, or just a conversation, don't fight it. Your brain is just doing what it was built to do. If this video changed the way you look at your own life, hit subscribe to keep exploring the ancient code running your modern world. Stay curious.